prayer. Dear Lord, we thank you, Father, for this day. We thank you for the blessings of life you've given us. We thank you for the health and means and freedoms, Lord, to be able to come tonight and represent our town, our state, and our nation. Help us be the leaders you'd have us to be. May we honor you in all we say and do, Lord. And Father, just forgive us where we've sinned and where we've failed. In Christ's name I pray. Amen.
Amen.
I pledge
allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Right. Need a motion to call the meeting to order.
Motion.
Second.
Sandy, Don, all in favor? Everybody. Need a motion and a second to cover only what's on the agenda.
Motion.
Second.
Sandy, Kevin. All in favor? Item 3, reading of the minutes. We'll read those, Carl.
Okay. The Hackleburg Town Council met in regular session on June 10th, 2019 at 6 p.m. Mayor Pro Tem Don Harmel called the meeting to order. Kevin Blondell led everyone in prayer, then the pledge was said by all. The attendance is listed below. Mayor Pro Tem Barnwell stated that the meeting was open for the transaction of business. A motion was made by Councilmember Lawley and seconded by Councilmember Marbut to cover only the items on the agenda. Voting was as follows: all ayes, no nays. Mayor Pro Tem Don Marwell asked the clerk to read the minutes from the May 13, 2019 meeting. After reading, a motion was made by Councilmember Lawley and seconded by Councilmember Kevin Barnwell to accept as presented. Voting was as follows: all ayes, no nays. The clerk presented a check register for the council to look over and approve. After reviewing, a motion was made by Councilmember Lawley and seconded by Councilmember Wigginton to pay all bills when due. Voting was as follows: all ayes, no nays. Mayor Pro Tem and the council were presented with a financial statement by the clerk. After reviewing, a motion was made by Councilmember Marbut and seconded by Councilmember Kevin Barnwell to accept as presented. Voting was as follows: all ayes, no nays. In old business, the council discussed the illegal dumping ordinance with Town Attorney Tony Glenn. A motion was made by Council Member Lawley and seconded by Councilmember Marbut to have Tony to go ahead with a draft similar to what Hamilton has. Voting was as follows: all ayes, no nays. The clerk presented Mayor Pro Tem Don Barnwell and the council with a resolution to pass authorizing the selection of an engineer for work-related CDBG grant submission. A motion was made by Councilmember Marbut and seconded by Councilmember Lawley to pass said resolution. Voting was as follows: all ayes, no nays. Mayor Pro Tem Don Barnwell and the council had one applicant for the rec center job, Eli Barnett. A motion was made by Councilmember Marbut and seconded by Councilmember Kevin Barnwell to hire Eli for the supervisor position at the rec center. He will open the gym on Monday, Tuesday, and Thursday nights from 6 p.m. to 9 p.m. at the rate of $7.25 per hour. Voting was as follows: all ayes, no nays. There were 2 citizens that wanted to address the council but was unable to attend the meeting. Mayor Pro Tem Don Marwell and the council discussed the gravel and grade list. The list includes the following: Betty Daniel, the LV Anglin home, Joey Cochran. A motion was made by Councilmember Wigginton and seconded by Councilmember Marbut to gravel and grade said drives. Voting was as follows: all ayes, no nays. There being no further business to come before the council, a motion was made by Councilmember Lawley and seconded by Councilmember Marbut to adjourn.
All right, y'all heard the reading of the minutes. Any comments or questions?
We get our ordinance similar to Hamilton's.
Yes.
That drawn up.
Yes, I drafted one. I looked at several,
Yeah.
and I drafted one that I think would be suitable for Hackleburg.
I do need the, statistics to go with it, those, you'd given me a copy of those, and, I think you have them.
Okay.
Y'all decide on the final amount and all that.
Do what?
You talking about the,
I'm talking about the readouts, the acceptable readouts on the, when they test it. There's a chart goes with it.
but if anybody's caught, is that what you're talking about?
Yes, and I made it an exhibit to the ordinance.
Okay.
If it comes up out of kilter, and I also put a restitution amount in here to fix the problem if they're caught,
Okay.
as well as fine. Jail sentence too.
Which it wasn't in the minutes, but remember we discussed hanging of the flag, what happened to that deal? Didn't you say you was gonna take care of that?
Yeah, I went to the mayor and the mayor didn't, or she called the mayor and said we didn't have no flags and they didn't want to buy.
We put them out on the highway. But if y'all,
I thought we voted, that shouldn't have been a meeting, I thought we voted for
It
didn't have
wasn't
them.
on the
Buy
agenda
them
last
and
night.
put them up.
Y'all just talked about it, it wasn't on the agenda.
But I went ahead and went through it and it wasn't done.
But did we not agree to vote if we didn't have
We never
it?
did.
It's never been on the agenda, we was just discussing
Yeah,
it.
I mean, it don't matter, if y'all wanna order them, we can. I can get a price on them and we can do
We'll
it,
start
but we
bringing
hadn't do
my
it.
notes from a previous meeting, I don't know about all that. No, it wasn't on the agenda, but,
If it wasn't on the agenda, you couldn't vote on it.
well, I had to do with 4th of July. We were discussing that, so it was tied in with that.
Last week, we were discussing the 4th of July, which is in the minutes, about what we were gonna do. And that's when it came up about the flags.
that's
Okay.
right.
Why the flags were not being hung.
Well, could
because of
putting them up
Memorial
not be
Day.
part of 4th of July festivities?
Yeah,
Well, that's what I thought,
Yeah.
that's why we got off.
well, you
into
got it on here, discuss 4th of July, so we'll have to, but that's what it was, that's how the conversation started.
Well, if the flag's not on there, we can't address it, obviously, so.
Yeah, you can, it's under,
It's on here,
bulletin number 4.
4th of July.
It's on
Flag's
there.
on.
No,
It ain't got flags,
discuss.
it's just
So that's
discuss.
open discussion, you can decide anything within that category.
We discussed that last time on the 4th of July,
But
didn't
it wasn't on
Yes, we did.
we? The 4th of July
Yes, we
wasn't on
did.
there?
Yes, we did.
there. We discussed it, we just couldn't vote on it.
Still can't vote on
It
it
don't
tonight,
matter.
'cause they ain't on
If
there.
y'all wanna get them, we will.
Well, when you discuss it,
Okay.
we need to.
All right.
I'm a veteran, I think the flags ought to be up.
Well, we put them up, we just put them down the highway in front of the monument.
I know. But I mean, we got 4th of July festival and everything. It'd be nice if the flags was up.
Well, they're-
Yeah, that's the
they'll be
minimus,
putting
that
them-
y'all can go ahead.
Huh?
Y'all can decide that at the meeting, that's a de minimis thing.
Well, I
When we
mean,
get to it.
We get
I
through it,
don't
we'll
know
talk
what the big
about it.
deal is, you know, they got the fire to sign paying $500, so anyway. It don't matter, 4th of July, Saturday week, so I guess we can do it next year.
Need a motion to accept the minutes.
Motion.
Second.
Second.
All in favor?
I,
Anybody opposed? Item number 4, paying the bills. I abstain on that.
Baggett Septic, what was that charge for?
Never do.
Brown equipment,
Tractors.
tractor. The Bobber tractor, or
not $1,400 you did, it probably looked like repairs,
Yeah,
It's repaired.
equipment,
yeah.
parts.
It's been a big part. Put me on the book.
Carly, you got the bill for that?
That's what I was looking through here on Sinners.
It don't take you long to, do the bill up on a tractor or a backhoe or.
No, I thought one been tar or something.
No,
I know
not
it wasn't
from
there
them.
one day and it's fixing to flat, but
Yeah.
surely it wasn't.
No, it ain't brown when you do that.
I'll have to go back in there and get it. It's one that's already paid, so I'll have to go pull it. You want me to do it now or wait?
That's
But it was for the tractor.
Tar is what it was for, they do.
PD has a charge on here.
That was McGrail 1153.
One of the tractors, we had to put 2 new tires on it.
And
Yeah. Well, that ain't.
I never did receive that invoice for the 1,600, so it's not
That's
on here.
increased, okay.
But there's a $756 on here that was police.
It was 1153 McGrail, so I don't know.
Yeah, that's
That's
police.
the,
Carlos, 314 First Avenue, this building,
No, it's the old building.
the old building, why is it $2,000? It has went up tremendously.
There's one 314.
And this goes back
where
to,
you at?
I'm on the bill part, the total bill was $5,000 something for the repair bill. And if you look at what the bill was for that, so my question on that, I knew it would go up because of all the equipment he's got in there. And this is where we're gonna have to, because we still have not been receiving any kind of payment from him yet.
I've got to bill him, and I
So
was
he
gonna
paid
do
the
that
difference,
today.
so-
Well, that includes starting in January. He moved in January, so,
Yeah, 6
and,
months.
cause this,
But I
This
did
is gonna
notice
go up
that
a
that
lot.
was a lot more than it had been.
Yeah, we need to figure out
And two, you know.
cause our
they-
bill's only been usually running $1,000 or less. Well,
They
there ain't
had,
nothing in there.
About 4,000 bucks.
They
in
had
there.
the, in the rec center, they had the, she had that,
Oh, that's
week-long
the
thing.
Yeah.
And, I mean, I'm sure that with the lights on constantly,
a, do
for
That's
2
what you
weeks,
read. Okay.
that
I'll
was
look at
probably
those
a
all.
lot more too. But,
Yeah, we have them on, during basketball too, and it's never been that much. We have them
Yeah,
on concert
whatever,
too.
whatever over the average we figured
yeah, I'll
is
bill
what it'll
him.
be.
Well,
I'll
we'll have to
stick it
re-average
today.
it every year and then go off the original back, because it's gonna continue going up. No, it's not, the rec building's not air conditioned. All the other ones are. You'll have to do like a year 2017, what the total bill was, and then the difference in that, and what your running total is for 2019.
Well, and I guess that was a cold patch, isn't it?
I was really expecting to see the pool building, because those pumps run 24/7, that increasing.
You know,
It's not that bad.
Have they been having a pretty good turnout down there, you know?
Oh, yeah.
I've been by there one time.
We
They have
should
five.
not have another gas bill at the pool, because Brandon cut it off. So it should be,
You don't
balance
have
should
to pay
be
a
zero.
minimum or-
Well, you'll have the minimum.
Yeah, well, 13,
$13,
well, whatever it
whatever it
is,
is.
12.60.
Discussing
But
the
that
hours.
was,
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah, it's right there.
I don't know if time they paid or not. I knew residents
That one went
did.
up tremendously.
Right, but are they?
The
what is being
applied
used by the
concepts
others?
that's on there,
Well, it's
$1,680, that's, some police,
You have to keep
equipment,
We agreed to keep
contracts,
them running
cloud
total.
storage, they have for
And
their
they pay
vehicles.
the over what the average is for that month. And you'd have to go back and look what it was. No, it would be just the radio station.
Vulcan material, some of that will be billed to Riverboat.
Office and it's office.
Okay, you'll have to tell me
Yeah.
how much.
That's where we helped them build that pad up.
What was that, for one dump truck load?
No, it's like 8, 7, however, how many we got. I was looking at the ticket, but between 5 and 8.
Kim Fleming, she worked for food.
No, she had rented the senior building and she paid the $150 all in one check. And they get $50 back when the building
Oh,
is clean, so,
Okay.
so we had to write her a check. We usually ask them to write 2 checks and we give them one back.
Yeah.
Somebody gets stuck, and have to pay a Wallace bill, a record bill? I'm
They
kidding,
came to work on the back of
I'm kidding.
our cube in it.
Only time you
So
ever,
that's
you
what
hope to
that
God
truck
you don't have to call
Fix the
Wallace.
back hose for one.
Yeah,
It would've been more than that.
I know. Kirsten just paid $350 because they had to tell him the brakes went out on the motorhome.
All right, need a motion to pay the bills?
Motion.
Second.
Second.
All in favor? Any opposed? All right, old business.
Do you wanna let Kelly go first so she
Yeah,
can go
she
back
wants to.
because
She's gotta drive.
she's gotta drive back.
We'll skip down and let her jump in here. We'll call it Kelly, go over our 2018 audit.
This is Kelly Olive. She worked for Don Wallace, our auditor.
He was sorry that he couldn't be here. He said if y'all needed him, he could come back at lunch one day or next council meeting, just let him know. Does anybody have any questions that they wanna make sure we go over? Now, if you have a question or think of one tomorrow, just holler at Don, let me know, and we'll try to get it
Did
going.
everything come out good, no red flags or anything?
No, that's the bottom line, all is well, and keep going. He said y'all did a good job on your budget for the first, having the first budget and getting that going. It was all fine. This little sheet that's stapled together, it says material weaknesses at the bottom and none. On the second page, it hits the very highlights. It says the town ended with a positive $173,559. Change in net assets largely due to the sale of surplus equipment and the retirement of debt. So I think that's some police equipment y'all saw, and then paid off some debt. The utility system technically had a loss, but a lot of that's depreciation, which is not technically an expense. And his couple of recommendations there on item 3 is just keep a good record of transfers between the town and the water. And a lot of things are paid online, super quick and easy, and just keep a good record of that.
Discrepancy, what do they mean, like, yeah, collecting the money, not getting deposited, or not collecting, or, do you know?
Well, at one time, you know, garbage is paid on the water bill, and when we went to online, we wouldn't changing it back over to the general fund, which we are now, but, I mean, it could be anything.
Yeah, and if you pay your phone bill or whatever online, just make sure you print out, keep some sort of record of it, so when we come in,
You know, when we have the statement that she shows, it's got every bit of it in there broke down. And it'll show, because he references one good thing in here about health insurance. You remember on the water department, the health insurance comes out of theirs, and then she has to turn around and JV it back to us. And that's where he's saying you need to keep paper copy receipts. We're doing it all electronically, but if you have a paper copy, it shows the transfer better.
It's like our uniforms. for instance.
Yes, that includes every transaction, and that's what he said in his recommendations.
This statement's good too. This communication is intended solely for the information and use of management and town council and is not intended for the TV or newspaper.
You read that into the Who's gonna say that
Good
now?
statement.
Oh, my
I'm
goodness.
gonna say we got a good audit. We want
Yeah.
y'all to know it.
We did, we appreciate it. We appreciate y'all helping us with it.
always was. Yeah, it's kind of
Yeah.
like Dr. Jacob.
The thing that needs to be praised is, if you see the change in net assets was a $93,000 deposit. And that's not asset for his land, that's actual expenses versus revenue. So that's excellent.
With actually no more new businesses, so it managed pretty well,
Yeah.
yeah. And we picked up 4 new police cruisers too, so.
Right.
Right, most of it's historical stuff that y'all already gone over. The way the financial statement's put together, it's kind of backwards. When I go to put one together, I start in the very back, like on page 40. You have your most detail of your budget. And then towards the very back on page 48, you have the detail of your non-major funds. And then as you go forward, you just take the totals of those, just kind of roll forward.
You get one of them extra ones?
No, I, looking at her.
You're welcome to have them.
Oh, okay, thank you.
So,
Yeah, you get one if you get one.
On page 44, that's your grant funds, and Don said you could consider closing those if you won't need them anymore. Because there's not a lot going on in those.
There are several that need to be closed.
Yeah, he said to do that.
Well, since you're showing a balance in each one of these grants, can,
34,000.
huh?
So yeah, like 34,000, we actually got that money we can spend, or? We got this total all of them, or what?
Well, you got more than that.
Sewer would go to
Right,
sewer.
yeah, there's
Water
one.
and sewer cops would go to PD.
What about commercial development, that's for town?
That was set up as a, to run the rats through.
Yeah, like there was a board, Warren Williford, Bird, Coach Allen.
Yeah. Which we might look at reestablishing that board.
And that
But
was,
is that money actually in an account, or is that what it costs, or?
it's in an account.
Oh, okay.
And I will talk to Dawn about what we can do with those to
Yeah, I mean,
get
if
them
we
into.
could, they can't build a number on that property we inherited, if somebody put a business into it or something. The commercial development, wasn't it? You know, rent it out, maybe lure another restaurant or something, you know?
And of course, this is as of September 30th of 18, so.
Mhm.
I don't know if there's still money, still cash.
So this wouldn't
They draw on it.
No, this has never
Oh,
been in
spend
total.
it.
This is separate funds.
Is that a forward pay board member or?
From all
Yeah,
the grants,
they-
Grant fund.
tornado
They got
stuff.
the grants through that.
Yes.
Oh, okay.
Huh?
And that's the balance that's in there.
Purchase.
No, it's grants.
Yeah,
It's for grants.
we ain't got to retire now, I mean, we might do that, develop something, piece of property we got or something.
To make sure that wasn't part of what we did close out.
Yeah, I mean, that would be the first thing, find out if we could use it, and if we could, you know, we could come up with something, I'm sure.
So it was 17,000.
So the very beginning on page 3, those are just a couple other
That's the way
highlights.
she used to do
What
it.
is it?
You went
War,
along.
war management.
I don't have a budget.
Yeah, but you do for Park and Rec.
No, we
You
don't.
cheated. You
We've
went
never
hard.
put a budget on Park and Rec. We
That'd be
wanna
good.
start though.
That'd be through about 10 minutes, give me a little more to get out.
Feel right out.
Yeah, yeah.
You know, it's something we said we would do in the future, we just ain't had.
See that Park and Rec?
They have at least one.
But
down
that's
there,
not-
right?
That's good, it keeps you right on the toes.
That's all we ever put in it.
Keeps them
Who's
straight.
Did a
that?
lot more than that though.
You lost 11,930.
Ooh, what'd you do that much?
That's when you.
Oh,
You don't remember you done the payment of
she
the,
had to put her new stern drive on the boat.
what?
She had to put a stern drive on the boat, that's recreation, isn't it?
No.
No.
It was for the, 13,000 was for the repavement of all these parking lots, walking trail and all
We never
that.
did do that.
Yeah, we did too. You done that last year. Remember?
Yeah, I remember.
No, he was just looking at.
The main thing is, we did get a good audit.
Yeah.
Carla, we appreciate what you do to help on that.
I appreciate that.
It's a lot to keep up with.
It
Mandy
really
does a
is.
good job too.
Appreciate Don and Kelly and all their team for y'all's hard work.
Thanks, and Don's always got his cell phone with him, so if
Yeah,
Nick's
he's
calling.
very good about being able to contact them.
You can.
What was you gonna point out on page 3?
No.
Just those are the other highlights,
Okay.
down the bottom line.
Services and stuff that you want to get people to pay for and stuff like you.
And then on page 6 at the bottom, it shows your reduction in your debt. And page 9 is kind of the summary and the totals of all the pages behind it. It's a very consolidated balance sheet. Shows your fixed assets and your debt. Page 12 shows your governmental fund statements, your cash, and your operating cash flows.
That's what all we're chemical.
And then pages 17 and 18 are the water board, information.
They've done a good job too, but depreciation killed them. Paper.
Yeah, that's kind of almost exactly the amount of loss. The only other thing I was gonna point out is page 25 shows a breakdown of your asset additions and depreciation. Do y'all have any questions, anything you didn't expect to see, or?
I'd just like to say, over the report of the budget, so overall, to the community and to the people of the town and the community, this is a good report.
Oh, yeah,
So-
yeah, definitely a good report. Don said good job on getting the budget fixed and good job overall. It all looks very good. Like we said earlier, the net assets increased very positively. And really the only loss in the water was due to the depreciation, so. Everything is well.
Any more questions?
That's a lot. I was just looking at the depreciation on the water, how large that is. That's almost $1 million in depreciation.
Sure, I mean, it is what it is.
That'll help in the future.
The water is running so much smoother than it
Yeah,
was.
It's in good shape.
Yeah, it's in good shape.
All right, Kelly, we don't have anything else unless you do.
It all looks good. Don said he would try to get here closer to your year end next time. He would definitely stop by in September and check in, and hopefully everybody do well and you get going real quick and you do this fast.
Sounds
And I'll
good.
leave you an extra copy just in case somebody comes back.
It'll be great. And you'll have to come back because we have a Mexican restaurant. in
I
town.
saw that, I noticed that. It's like, hey, man.
And it's really good.
All right, thank you, Kelly.
Thanks,
Thank
Ed.
y'all.
Be careful.
Yes.
All right, I need a motion to accept the audit,
Motion.
2018.
Second.
Debbie and Darren. All in favor? Any opposed? All right, we'll go back to old business. I think Tony's already given an update on the
Yes.
illegal dumping.
When will we, since he's already got it drafted and everything, are we voting to accept the draft today, or what are we doing?
I'll
Do you have
give it
your
for
finished
you.
draft or?
That's, it's more or less a draft, but we can,
Okay, so next meeting we'll be ready
Yes.
to review it for
Yes.
closure? Okay. So that's gonna be a carryover. Okay.
Update on Denson Building. He is contracted with Gerald Hudson to put a new roof on it and get new windows and doors put in it. Gerald is holed up right now. He's working on a job, but he said he has ordered the material and that it is gonna be done. So.
All right. Last week, or week before last, we talked about going ahead and pursuing
Right.
whatever legalities we need to pursue. I'm still on board with doing that. I don't care who's got what, and doing what, when, until I see some work. That's where I'm at.
Well, in talking with them, I feel like we ought to hold up, because they do have a contract, and Gerald's holding him up, according to Gerald. So I say we give them till the next meeting before we
Did you see the
take any
contract?
more money. No, but
It's going on
I
for
don't
word.
think he's gonna lie about it.
Probably what we need to find out is if the contract has a completion date on it, and that way you can go off of that and base that. See if he says he's gonna be completed with the work by, I'm making up dates here, January of 2020, then
Well, I
that.
like this, I think Mr. Denson ought to take it upon himself, if he's got a contract, to send that contract to us due to the fact that he's under legal litigation. I mean, Gerald signed it. You know, if he had sent a contract up here saying, you know, sign legal binding contract, well, this is what happened, you know. I mean, I know they think Gerald lied to us about it, but you'd think under the action we've taken, he would want to provide us some kind of documentation showing that he is taking proper action.
Well, I would say this, if I cannot get my hands on a contract, a legal binding contract where they have agreed, and by the next meeting, then we move forward.
We can do that. That's reasonable.
Yeah, I mean, if a man's trying, I don't wanna,
Right.
you know.
Yeah, I don't think Gerald would lie to you about that.
You know, my only thing, he's had 12 years to try,
Yeah,
15 years.
Well, I agree.
You know, apparently we're-
Well, I mean, we've tightened the screws, though.
Yeah.
We've put him in bind.
That's good. We
I
need to
mean,
keep
that's
it.
the good
Yeah, I mean,
thing.
if they've got a contract, they'll be able to provide, to keep
Yeah.
us off his back.
Oh,
I
sure.
mean, you know,
Yeah, I agree with
It's
that.
voluntary.
I know if that's all between me and going my butt to get picked up to jail, as soon as I signed it, I'd been sending it up here. Let me say, look at it like three hawks and a cod, I don't know.
What else say?
I mean, you spoke with Gerald Hudson, and he told you that he's actually holding him up, I guess either behind right now with some other jobs he's got going. And he told you that he's ordering material and things to fix it, so, you know, Mr. Denson, I guess, needs to make sure he gets a little more on the Gerald pressure-wise, that he's feeling, you know.
I'll make a motion that either you contact him or the mayor one does, tell him we need to see a signed contract by him.
Right. Okay.
And I would say a finish, you know,
With a completion date.
yeah, I mean, I understand when you're a contractor, you got to tie up one job and move on and get you another before you come back and finish. I mean, that's the way they stay afloat.
I will get a copy of their contract by the next meeting. If they can't produce it or nothing's done, then we move ahead.
Yeah. I'll still give you, I'll give you 2 more weeks then.
You all good with that? Done.
Yeah.
All right, item number 3, update on Tyler Norton reimbursement. Carla, we got that back in full?
We got that, that's $15,850.
That's great.
Got that back from the state. Item number 4, update on Bill LaPrade reimbursement.
We just need to go forward with
I
that.
have text back and forth with him quite a bit,
Hmm.
and each time he told me the check was leaving in the mail the next day. So I say we turn that over to Tony
That's what I thought.
I don't want him to carry that for you.
and the mail was lost.
He paid us out $5,000, so he wanted-
Mm.
Snail mail.
Prosecute.
I mean, I hate it, but, you know, we,
We'll do more than-
yeah, we gave him plenty of time. Item number 5, update on Jamie Blaker.
I'm got the suit drafted on Blair. That's, I need to get a filing fee the next, we're gonna have to file, no doubt about it.
We probably need to get together one day and make sure we're on the same page with what he was supposed to do with that money
Right.
and what didn't happen. So,
Do you have been able to get his physical address and all that, hadn't you?
Oh, yeah.
I know I'm friends with him on Facebook and he posts stuff all the time, and you don't like to.
And I've also sent him 2 notices.
you hadn't heard back on
No, no, he hasn't made notice.
Police guy.
No, they wouldn't have the mint then, on the ground.
Had an event, they did. so-
They fought it on the ground
Okay.
about 5 years ago. That was something that was passed on to us. So what's the deal with the restaurant? We're about to sell the equipment, will ever do that, or that ain't on here, but.
We need, I think we need to reconstruct anybody with a clean.
Just put on that agenda, while we.
All right, update on lids for Jackson and Pool property.
What is that?
The water department. I talked to Greg today, he said Tim Frederick was coming by to look at it, to measure it, and he was gonna build
Oh, man.
lids to go on top of it.
Yeah, like the man cover.
Yeah, manhole covers.
And I was told that they'd have it that Tuesday and have it cut and brought over here to us. Yeah, we just gotta find somebody else to buy from if they're gonna do business like that. That's twice that's
I was
happened.
gonna say, when's he gonna be able to look at it, you know?
But I give them the measurements and everything.
Greg said he was coming by today, Tim was, to
Oh,
look
okay.
at it and measure it, so.
Well, I've already measured it and called them and give them the measurements. Twice.
With it being water department, we'll let him see if he can work it, and if he can't.
Well, evidently it ain't gonna be work, cause this has been going on 3
Well,
months.
I was gonna say, this water department, we don't need to worry about that, in the legal part, something happens, to be on them.
If somebody knows, not if they fall through it, on our property, it won't be.
I thought it was the water department.
It'll be us and the water, won't it, Tony?
Yeah.
And what you should've done is went to Big D or went somewhere else, and you had your measures, had them cut, throw them on there and been done with it.
Well, I'm having to work, and I gave Carla the measurements,
Yeah.
and she called them, and they told me that told me and her both that they'd have them, they'd
About
get
2
the
months
steel in
ago.
by Tuesday, and
Right.
that's been 2 Tuesdays ago. And cut 4 by 6s and
Right.
send them to us.
Well, maybe you did, I don't know. If I see you after the meeting, and we go to church, I'll ask you. We'll get you in between classes.
I ate lunch with him one time up there at Hackleburg, but he didn't mention it, but I just thought it was took care of.
That's what Greg told me.
Well, I've never seen nothing like this. When you want something done, it ought to be done.
It's been at least 3 months, hasn't it, or
Yeah.
more?
What it is, you got 2-inch meters on the inside of them, and the one at the pool, they're gonna have to replace it. So they're gonna try to get that done before he gets out there with it.
I was gonna say, if it's gonna be a drop down lid, I mean.
Yeah, these are just set on lid.
I wouldn't say
You gotta
if
be
you had
able
to
to
work
get in
on
there
the
too,
meters.
because that's
too.
where you actually turn the water on for the pool. So it can't just be a drop down like what's over
Well,
there.
the one over
It's
by
gotta be able
Doug's,
to-
that went to the old schoolhouse.
Mhm.
So it may not even, they may not ever need to get to it.
Yeah, they may have to build some kind of
Well, it
aluminum
might go like on the water, man.
cover,
Slide it
not
out,
just
slide it
steel to
out.
put over the one at the pool.
That's that simple, Frank.
Because Greg's gotta remember, if you put something down there that's too heavy, then you got a back strain, then you got a seat form that you gotta fill out for an injury to the
That's where
employee.
they need to be smart. They
Right.
got a hook chain to a backhoe it. raise it or whatever, but anyway,
It's on the whole bracket.
that's where we're at with that.
No, there's nothing on it.
So put that on the agenda for next time, because we'll look at update on bids again.
Yeah, the bill's right.
All right, new
Yeah,
business.
Yeah.
Item number 2, Steve Pickens with the street department turned in his resignation. I don't think we have to accept it as council, as the mayor, I've already accepted it. So we need to think about what we're gonna do in the street department. We're gonna look at hiring somebody or possibly contracting out or bush hogging the rest of the summer.
We had one part-time that wanted to do a shop.
And that might be a good idea.
Oh, right,
Just let them come in
Part-time
every
for
day.
y'all or for the county or
right, for the
what?
town.
Oh, he works
Do it
part-time.
like he did for the county.
No, so he don't work for us yet. you-
He don't work for the county at all. He don't
They
work
don't
at
work
all.
for us either.
No, he's not working at all.
What does he
He'll
charge?
just be interested in.
He'll do it
Part-time.
for part-time wages. Whatever we pay part-time. What is it, 12?
Hmm. Even if they're part-time, they still fall underneath the reliability, so he said it doesn't matter as a town employee. Is that what you're asking?
That's something y'all need to think about.
Contractor separates it out. Yes.
We done
But we
that,
need-
he would come in and bush hog every day.
He really ought to be bush
Yeah,
hogging
you have
now
to supply tractors every time. They don't use your town equipment.
because of that festival coming up.
Yeah, that's what he was saying. But what Darren was asking a question over here about the contractor versus that. The difference is if you contract it, they have to supply the tractors, they have to supply all that, the reliability strictly falls under that. But it can drive a higher cost, you know. Now versus the town, if you do, even if it's part-time, even if it's whatever, you've got still the cost of the town, no different than hiring a person. So
Right.
you have to look and see what the overall cost is to see which is more beneficial. Versus if they tear up a lot of equipment, you know.
So this one, if he
Yeah.
tears something up minor, he's gonna get off.
Right,
It's gonna get off.
And they gonna, you know, pass.
Yeah.
So there's goods, there's positive benefits to it. Positive benefit of using contract is if a person has an injury, it doesn't come against the town and drive your insurance rates out the roof.
That's all.
That's the major thing that
You don't have to
do.
post part-time work, do you?
No,
No,
Well, we need to make our mind up, and we really need to do it tonight.
Is he interested in doing it?
He was last time I talked to him, he told me to talk to you about it. And I went by his house today, I was gonna tell him to go by and talk to you.
Huh?
Can we do anything since it ain't on here?
well, I don't know. You can't.
Ask Tom.
I would think that we could on that, because that's something that needs to be done
That's not
That
on here to
falls.
do that.
in a different
You
category.
know, he said he thinks it'd be all right if we did,
If what?
if we went ahead and put somebody on it, or the contractor, or do whatever we wanna do.
But it's not on the agenda to do that, that's what.
Yeah, I know it, but I think that's under a
Did we get in trouble for that?
Okay.
No,
Okay.
that needs, I mean,
Since
we
we
let
had
it go
this
for
stuff
2 weeks,
for
and we
that.
got, it'll be needing doing bad.
Well, really, that would fall under his resignation, leaving us short.
Well, my personal opinion is I think that we need to hire a person, and the reason I'm gonna say this,
Full-time.
full-time, is Chad needs help, and it's not just part-time for bush hogging. It's all the other stuff that we have to do for this town. You know, a lot of times we do bush hogging during the summer, but what about the road repairs that's gotta be done? What about the curbs, the painting, all this other stuff that we just had to let go because we didn't have.
We've still got another
people.
part-time at mowing weed.
Right. Right, I mean, we still got Steve that's part-time, but I would prefer hiring somebody full-time, in my opinion.
And if it did, it might cut back on some of Steve's hours, we got somebody to work, I don't know. About how much does Steve work a week, you know? I mean, hours, I know he's up there a lot.
It's up to
Sometimes
30.
it's 35 and plus, sometimes it's 25.
Probably average.
So-
Yeah, but what you're doing is you're replacing the person that resigned.
He don't know what over there.
So
Sometimes.
that position's already there, so you're not adding a position to that department,
Right.
which is your department, Donna. You know, you've already got the slot.
Thanks,
for
you
it.
run the show and then you tell me it's mine.
It is your, you ain't speaking up.
I don't have to.
You got the
I've already-
highest money
I've
right there.
already, I know it, but
Yeah.
I'm going by the amount we gonna pay to get bush hogged.
Don gave his opinion.
Yeah, I gave my opinion, then you just
But
took
what
it
you gonna
over.
do afterwards when that goes away? And you got one person here and you got all this other stuff that you gotta get done.
Well, if we need to hire somebody full-time, we will.
When is that decision
Bush
gonna be
hogging,
made?
when bush hogging's over, your part-time will be done.
No, it's not. We've got so much stuff that we just let go.
I know.
I
But
mean, we
in the
do.
summertime, you're bush hogging constantly.
I
You're
understand
mowing
that.
constantly. So that's what we're talking about concentrating on right now, and then making a hire to replace Steve.
Mhm.
If y'all wanna replace him right away, it's up to y'all.
Well, I'm just going off of the conversation that was told at the last meeting, that y'all didn't wanna lose, employee that was getting discouraged because they didn't have help.
He's
So
good
if you're
with
in
it.
that mentality and you're not getting the person help, don't you think you wouldn't wanna get somebody in here that's gonna help?
He's good with the
Because
idea
the-
of having a full-time bush hogger.
Well, let's say that he's gotta pick up brush, he's gotta do this, it takes 2 people to pick up brush, not just one.
Right.
So,
Him and Steve do that.
huh?
Him and Steve do that.
So that means you're utilizing Steve, which is supposed to be part-time, more full-time.
Yeah.
Because if he's working over 32 hours, it's considered full-time.
32 hours. You
32
can
hours
pick
or
up-
more is considered full-time.
There
now.
I do a brush,
You
yes.
can pick up the brush within 32 hours in a week.
But she just said that he's working
You can do
more
that.
than 32 hours a
He
week.
has, on average, he's not.
He has. I'd have to average it out. It's different every week. So. But it has been above 32
That's
hours.
right.
It has before, yeah. And it's been
Mine
20.
says 29.
I know they're doing that for a purpose, and they'll cut you off at that too, so you can't come into work. Because you get into benefits and everything else. So the, part of the supplemental help is because some of the individuals were not coming to work on timely manners, is that correct? So if you had a full-time person that was here all the time,
Cut that out.
wouldn't you be able to cut a lot of that extra work out
You would think.
from a business perspective?
You might not find a full-time helper who did as much done as a part-time bush hogger.
Right. Or part-time help.
That's right.
I think
I
we need to
reckon-
hire somebody to replace Steve, but in the meantime, the grass is growing. So, I'd say you somebody, a part-timer to mow grass until we got a full-timer put in that spot. Somehow.
That's pretty
It's
much
gonna
what
take a
we
little
do.
while to find somebody.
Right.
You need
Yeah,
to
we're
get-
gonna need to advertise.
You gotta advertise it, and well, in the meantime, the grass is growing.
Right.
I recommend.
Just let them know up front that we are gonna be hiring full-time, this is gonna be going away.
Mhm.
Do you still wanna do it?
Well, if you get wrong, it won't matter with him. He just wants to.
That's what I think.
Okay.
I recommend we hire a part-time employee until we get through the bush hog season, and then we'll hire full-time to replace Steve Pickens.
I'm gonna recommend we put long on the bush hog, that's who you want, and start running that in the paper tomorrow, and get our application when somebody applies. But so then by then, it'll be.
Give us time to look over it.
I mean, that's
Somebody
gonna take
could
you a
pop
month
up
or
in 2 or
longer.
3
I-
weeks by accident. That could be a good prospect. Too.
How long have we gotta run it for, Tony? 2 weeks?
Yeah,
Yeah.
Okay.
And you have to interview and all that, yeah, so, probably in a month anyway.
And by the time you get through all the applications and everything,
And then whoever you have to hire, if they don't never run a tractor, they have to be showing or on, they'll show up and operate the tractor and all that.
If they hadn't run a tractor, we probably are not gonna hire them.
Well, I don't know.
You think they can tear up more than?
Let's put it this way, they don't get my vote.
I don't know why we wouldn't. The last one we've had for 15 years ain't run one, ain't run up with a 6x6 and rode around way that people don't know what the difference is.
The next one we hire will be able to run a
Make
tractor.
sure that's on.
They might not, everybody don't vote for it. That's unanimous, see? I'm gonna vote for my training, that way they'll do a good job, do it right.
Alright, for right now, need a
You
motion,
hard everybody with experience in every job, won't make nobody working.
need a motion to hire a part-time.
Make sure that's in the paper.
To
that
bush
he said
hog. To bush hog,
No, I wouldn't put it in there. If I had that experience, got my job, I still wouldn't have it, or you wouldn't either. But that's the way it goes.
in the meantime, we'll run an ad in the paper for a full-time employee for 2 weeks. And that'll give us plenty of time to interview them.
Do we need another part-time, or could Steve be doing that? What's he doing? Who, our other part-timer? Could we be utilizing him to bush hog, or?
He can bush hog, but the one we're talking about. can
No, I know, he
Really
really
good
can.
bush hog,
Yeah, I
and
know
that'll
that.
free Steve up to help Chad on anything he needs,
So what's Chad doing?
That takes care of it.
whatever needs done.
Yeah, I know.
Maybe bush hogging, maybe
And he's on.
hauling gravel, maybe picking up brush, maybe mechanicking. Try again second.
Who made the motion?
That'll-
I'll second it.
Carla, did you get my motion?
hire part-time bush hog, part-time employee to bush hog. In the meantime, run ad in the paper for full-time employee to replace him for 2 weeks.
That'll give us time to get somebody in here, anybody interested to come in, get our interviews done. We would nearly be through bush hog season by
Yeah,
then,
that's right.
so. Alright, all in favor? Any opposed?
Yeah, I'm gonna vote to hire the full-timer and against the part-timer. I think they do like one we got to bush hog.
So you opposed?
Yeah, the part-time help,
Ain't what it said, we'll go with it.
for the full-time.
Alright, motion passed 5-1. Item number 3, have mayor and council sign letter for permission to move the polling place.
Pass it around.
I was contacted by the Board of Registrars, and they just needed a letter on letterhead with every council and the mayor's signature.
Start this way and it goes that way.
Yeah, you're one.
Just,
it should have been done before they let him in there.
it was okay.
I know, and that way we would sign this. He passing it down?
We'll move it to the senior center.
Yes.
Yeah, they're passing it down, because that we were all on one copy.
I just gave y'all a copy of it and what you see it.
Carla, while they're passing it around, can we put on the next agenda to have a standing order for cleanup ordinance? I'm getting a lot of slack on a couple of places.
We're at,
Where's the places at?
yeah,
The one down in front of the pool, the house that's
Oh,
been
yeah.
burnt,
yeah.
and then the other one is,
Right here, behind,
it's falling down the building, it's
Bill Holland.
It's Bill and Holland's old place, right there in the corner.
You go to Fairview to the left, church,
Yeah.
First Baptist is
Baptist church.
Where Cricket Galloway went.
Talking about where you turn right on 12. and
Yes,
it's
that's
right
correct, right in the corner.
Behind
Yeah.
That's correct.
See it from the church.
there. And
David's keeping most of that mowed now, cause it was pretty
I
bad.
heard some complaints on that, you was talking about down there, but Sheila Williams.
Yeah.
Yeah, they've been complaining a lot about
Who
it.
owns that house behind? your
They're from
dad's?
Birmingham, but I don't know who they are.
Okay,
I
we'll
don't
pull
know.
it up.
I don't know, we just pulled up on the property taxes and see who's got it. Yeah,
Tony, that's something we'll have to get back with you and
Okay.
have you,
yeah, we just need to put
Send out
that on there as a
letters, yeah.
standing order each
All right.
week to add when people, especially when burns is becoming a.
yeah.
Just need
Randall hit us
the
up
same
about
thing
it
I
last
sent
week.
these.
Here
Okay.
you go.
That's good. I just need the addresses, not the rest of it.
We'll get him to you.
Yeah.
Thank you, guys.
Item number 4, discuss 4th of July. The pool will be open from 12 to 7. Is that right, Carla?
12 to 8 is what we put down.
That's long.
Till dark, when it starts getting dark, whatever that is. I think we usually get them out at 7, 7:30.
Okay.
But it may be up till 8 to get them all out.
Yeah.
We'll start at 7.
7:30.
I soon start at 2 or 3, wait a minute. Cause we don't open up till 1, why have we always done 12?
It's 4th of July.
What are we doing at that time though during that day?
Let them swim.
I understand, we let them swim at 1, but
They're gonna be bouncy houses.
are we doing the bouncy houses at 12? That's why I'm asking, the other events.
Yeah,
Or are they starting later on that day?
The the live music will start about 5 and go until the fireworks show.
Fire department says,
I'm trying to remember what time the bouncy houses were down there about 10 o'clock.
Yeah, they're 10, 11's when they're not.
And then we started it, okay.
We're gonna have a lemonade vendor, he's gonna bring, Mr. Proctor, that's always here for Neighbor Day. Sweet Peas contacted me and she wanted to do a setup of some of her merchandise, and she may have another one or two that wants to set up down here. I talked with, well, Hope Mitchell, her and her dad had brought some games to Neighbor Day, like cornhole and some different things, and they may come and set those up. Kenny had talked about doing karaoke before the live music.
That's what I'm gonna get in.
Need to do a cornhole tournament next year.
Yeah,
Put that on there.
and,
Did you say 7:30 or what time we get them out
yeah,
there?
Yeah, we'll get them at
of
7:15.
course, the fire department.
That'll draw the crowd, won't it?
Start getting them.
They're gonna do Boston Butts,
Usually the fireworks.
By the time we got them out there, it was,
the,
some of them wouldn't get out of the freaking water till after 8:30. But we'll start getting them out at 7:30. Because the fireworks started at 9. We haven't had any people out of that pool. I'm telling you, you don't know.
I'm interested in the
You wouldn't even-
karaoke.
it was free.
it's
You
just.
know what, karaoke's my thing. I ain't worried about the pool.
We will have some good food because the fire department is cooking.
Rescue squad.
Rescue squad. The Boston Butts, they will be selling some Boston Butts whole, and then they'll have sandwiches
Who's doing that?
and hamburgers, rescue
Rescue
squad.
And parking is always a problem.
Yes.
We'll have
Is
Last
it
year-
possible that Wrangler would allow us to move those trucks and people park inside that fence and move their, what few trucks they got in there and move them up to the upper parking lot, and we could utilize that area
That'd be good.
anything's possible.
and see, you know, because that would actually help us out a lot.
I'll call Wade and see if we
Because
can.
last year
Because
you
they
couldn't
were,
get no
you could
parking.
not, parking was on both sides of the road, and it was one lane, and they were everywhere. Plus it came a flood, you remember, during that time. And I expect all y'all to be down there, big lifeguards for at least 2 hours. You know, I'm looking at y'all, you know, lifeguards for 2 hours.
You gonna take care of getting the fireworks?
I'll be
set up,
singing.
music, and
I won't be able to, I'll
You
be
won't be able to sing? I
karaoke.
got you.
is everybody gonna be able to be there? It really, I mean, all the help we can get.
It's really a good festival.
It is.
The parade, the American Legion parade will start at 4 o'clock up here through town. We need to really support them.
Yeah.
They do some
Yeah.
good
They do
things.
good.
Have we got a flyer made
Maybe
yet
that's
of
something
the
they do.
events and everything, Carla? It'll list times and everything
Chad's
that's going
wife
on?
is helping me with that. She's gonna make us up one. I haven't seen it yet, but she's supposed to have gotten one out. Morgan,
Yeah, and that way we can get it on Facebook
Yeah.
by Friday.
yeah,
We'll get it on the radio.
and get it on the radio, and, we're gonna have, Dustin Busby is gonna sing at 6. And then, well, I thought it was 6 since we didn't have Joseph. Well, we
We'll
can
start
let them
somewhere
sing
around 5 and
5:30, Busby,
Yeah,
and then
8:30.
Creed was gonna sing.
Did not know that.
Yeah.
Okay.
Do what?
Joseph running for commissioner in Franklin County.
Yes.
On the Fourth of July thing, just real quick, I'm gonna say, we was discussing the flags, you know, and I just wanted to say that I ain't overlooking any veteran or being disrespectful or anything. I spoke with Daryl.
Speak up, speak up.
I spoke with Daryl and he said, you know, that what, during the holidays, the 4th, and during this time, they put the flags out on 43.
Yeah.
They stick them out through there, symbolizing to show everybody that we are thinking of them. Then they take those flags down. So it's not like they just put them up and forget about them. So it's like being rotated to actually show that, you know, patriotic and all. So, I mean, I know they're not hanging on light posts in town, but they're actually out there on 43 to show. And I mean, now that's different administration, the way they done it. I feel like if we just decide that we want to put flags on poles in downtown also, we should bring that up to a vote and purchase more flags for that.
Well, that's what we're saying, and they said they was on the poles before.
They hadn't been in 7 years, I know.
Well, I
I
feel
know.
like if you want some more votes, you better be getting some flags on them poles.
Steve Pickens and them told me they was up, and they got,
That's
they
coming
lost,
from the public.
they lost the things that hold the
I
flag.
have no clue.
But I mean, like I said,
If y'all wanna order brackets and flags, I'm okay with
right, and that's our way that we do it, you know, because what we're doing right now is something that somebody else voted on and done. And so if we can change what, or, you know, do the way we want to do it, so.
They've always been put up until that last administration has torn down.
That's what they told me.
I mean, I know we got that memorial, but, and they wouldn't even really have to be put through town if it was just something put on 40. I know we got that, I don't know. All I've done is I brought up and had some complaints, and to me, you talking about respect, and I think it's disrespectful. Yeah, you got to put a little monument out there, but every town you go through has got them in their downtown district. But I'm just one vote. That's my opinion.
So are you wanting to try to get the flags in here before the 4th?
Well, I thought we agreed on this last meeting. Don
I
said he
know,
was
but I'm
gonna
just
take care of
asking
it
the
the next
question
day.
of procuring them this quickly.
Well, obviously
We're
not,
sure.
because it's not important, obviously. So, we can do it next year.
I don't think anybody said it wasn't important.
Must not be. When Don was heading the meeting, the last one, we voted it would be put up the next day, but it didn't happen.
Did y'all vote on it?
We discussed finding the flags and getting them hung. Yes, we did.
And we
And the
did,
best of my memory was we didn't have them, it would be bought, you specifically told Carla, write a thing, that'll be done tomorrow.
Discussed
but I
about
don't know. Yeah.
finding the flags and getting them.
we
hung.
didn't have
That was
flags
what
or
was
the
discussed.
brackets.
I mean, it ain't a big deal, I'm not gonna argue
Cause I
about
don't know where they're at.
You know, whoever-
That we put out, we probably got 12, 15 of them.
it. The
Yeah.
citizens that complained to me about it, I addressed it, they can read it in the paper and say I addressed it, where it goes from there, I'm done with it.
You should be able to get brackets
I'm done with it.
at Lowe's.
I don't
You
want
can get
to
them on our
find out.
rapers, can't you?
And get them and get them hung, and that way it'll be
I
representation.
think rapers you got the brackets.
Yeah.
I mean, I just want to say, I don't feel like nobody's being disrespectful to anybody. I just think the way that the flags were put in different places may offend somebody because they're not hanging on the light poles in town. But it's not like we hadn't remembered people and done this because they are put on 43 up and down. Maybe not big enough, or,
Well, we've always put them up, I just think after the tornado, a
That
lot of the
was,
brackets
But I'm
were lost.
proposing
and-
it
that was
Okay.
the reason I brought
Let's
it
make,
up.
I'll make a motion
You can't, it's on the
that
agenda.
they need to be put, these flags need to be hung at a parade route. Because whatever, if we're gonna have a 4th of July parade, then your flags need to be in that route for representation. And that way, that's the route that even down 43 and then back around where we go. Just like where we hang
And
our,
if Eugene don't second it, I will.
just like what we do with our Christmas lights. That's where they should be
I'll
hung at.
purchase the brackets and
I wanna thank the rapers got
hang
the
the
brackets.
flags. we won't put them at the monument. Same thing. I mean, we'll have the flags up, still be on the pole.
Well, you can still do them out there, whatever you're doing now, I mean, you gotta take away from one and do something else.
Well, I mean,
It ain't like we're putting our county employees out.
Well, it ain't, I
You know
don't
what I
know.
mean?
Anyway, I'll get the brackets, we'll hang the flags and,
Who seconded? Don.
Yeah.
all in favor.
Is there anything else that we forgot?
Wait a minute,
Buy a
I'm
lifeguard,
doing
I got that. And it's no fee for getting in the pool, did you mention that?
Free, food will be free.
All the food's not free though.
No,
No, the food.
food is,
Yeah,
rescue
And-
supply is selling.
yeah, she's working
The
on that.
munchies, yeah, I think you gotta buy a bracelet, don't you?
Yeah, she's working on
If they do it that way or not, if they have a bracelet or just an hour, a couple hours, I don't know how they'll do it. But, they are gonna set up early. It's Kevin Ward is his name. And I can ask him if it's gonna be an armband or not. I've got his phone
They
number.
charge, don't they?
They will
Yeah.
charge
I think it was like
something,
$10 a day or something like that, I don't remember.
maybe.
Yeah.
I wish I had a piece of that Boston butt right now, I'll see it.
That'd be
And
fun.
I've called Baggett's, but they didn't call me back, so we're gonna get
That'd be good.
water party set up too.
And the fireworks will be right at 9 o'clock when it turns dark.
Same people are
And
gonna
any
shoot.
garbage cans, anything like that needs to be distributed, you know, don't forget that on the list. Street department, man,
Yes, ma'am. What'd you say?
garbage cans,
Can I ask
Yeah, we're
about
not
the
picking
sound
up.
system there?
that's part of the
Well,
street
that-
department.
No, it
Kenny,
ain't.
Kenny's gonna help us on
Oh,
that.
he is gonna do it, we gotta hire nobody to do that.
Yep, Kenny's volunteering.
Somebody keeps leaving it loud. I gotta
went
turn
to
it
the
off.
breaker
I turned the whole breaker off,
I did too.
and then somebody keeps going in there turning it on.
You did.
Not me.
If I turned it off and you went back down there and flipped
No.
it, you turned it back on.
Only way I see it is I pass by and the light's on.
I wish
Did
y'all
the
could
street
get
department
together
ever
on
change the
this.
line out for the
I wish you and Darrell
floodlight?
could work together on this.
Okay.
You remember the floodlight that's out? Did they ever change it? Cause we'll need it.
Nothing less food.
Yeah,
Yeah, I'll get with mine.
yeah.
Get
When
with
it shines, we'll need it when it gets starts getting dark down
We need to check them lights out on them, do the same yet too.
there. That's the light they're leaving on.
Oh, is it?
Yeah. They'll go up there
Okay.
and they'll turn it on at some kid at nighttime. And then they'll go up there on the pavilion and they'll turn that one on too.
So going on through any
And it
ruckus,
stays on
we
all
had
the-
a good report on the budget.
Mhm.
And the town's in good financial shape.
And congratulations on that.
it. Absolutely.
And we're gonna work on some roads next, ain't
I hope.
Hopefully.
we? Yeah.
All right, grade and gravel at Jimmy Abel's. Need a motion?
Motion.
It's your department. Come on.
I don't have to make all the
Darren.
motions.
Second.
Second.
Kevin. All in favor.
Aye.
Brush pickup, BJ Carroll, Sheila Ayers. Need a motion?
Motion.
Eugene, Darren. All in favor,
Aye.
everybody. Need a motion to adjourn.
Second.
Oh, shit.
Not everybody at one time.
I second.
Everybody jumping on that, ain't you?
I second it before we get a
Who
motion.
did that? I
Uh,
don't know.
Who,
Who made the motion?
Don't believe I gotta mention something.
He did.
Darren,
Just say
One of
it.
these two did. They're both in my ear over here.
Don made a
One of them
second.
said motion, this and over here did. It was a good, productive night.
Don't forget to like and subscribe to our YouTube channel at www.youtube.com/49 County News TV.